Shelter is this year's Jason Statham January movie, and with that description, you basically can already tell what the entire plot and the entire appeal of this movie is. It seems like we get these ones every year. Last year was A Working Man, the year before that it was The Beekeeper, but this year we got a different director, with Rick Roman Wad directing this one. I hope I said that right. Unlike the other two, which were directed by David Ayer. Now, even though they're different directors, it doesn't really change a lot of what the vibe of this movie is compared to those ones, and basically what the entire plot is too. It feels like Jason Statham is the new Liam Neeson, where every single year he gets what I like to call as dad slop. Movies that are decent enough in some technical aspects and appeal to dads because of some aspects and themes of fatherhood, of protection, and mostly action, with Jason Statham being an ideal hero. And they're just good enough to coast by if you're really into that subgenre and are willing to take slop for it. But to the outside looking in, they are incredibly forgettable films. And this one especially is so forgettable. The plot of this is that Jason Statham has somebody who he needs to protect, in this case a little girl who he kind of fostered into taking care of, and there's bad guys trying to track him down because he used to work for the government or something. I don't know, I just watched the movie and I forgot most of it. Jason Statham really needs the Liam Neeson The Naked Gun treatment. Liam Neeson was part of all these terrible movies a few years ago, and then last year he was in The Naked Gun, and now it seems like he has so much potential for the types of diverse roles he can be in films. Jason Statham is in a similar rut to what Liam Neeson was in, where it's just the same action film over and over and over again. The plot is boring. The characters are bland. But the most surprising thing about this is that the action and cinematography are surprisingly super flat. This movie is terribly lit. There's a scene that takes place in this area that's kind of like a club or a rave going on, and it's supposed to have all these flashing lights and people dancing, and it is so dark. All you can see is the shadows, and it doesn't really emphasize anything for tone. It's just horribly lit. Some of the action scenes, the characters are fighting in the shadows, but in the background, you get clear as day light coming through windows and clear doors, and your eyes naturally start to focus on that light in the background instead of on the characters, which is a terrible thing to do for action scenes. You want to have it so your eyes are focusing on what the characters are doing, and your eyes naturally shift towards what's the brightest on the screen. It's a movie that's boring, but not like excruciatingly so. It wasn't one where I was like dying to do anything else while I was watching it, but it was one that kind of just washed over me. I felt nothing, there was nothing to chew on, and whenever I left the theater, it barely even registered that I just spent almost 2 hours in a movie, because it just felt like nothing. Jason Statham is fine. He gives the same performance that he always does. And to a certain type of audience, again, that group of people who like the dad slop movies, this could be a decent time to watch at home. But as actual appeal and as an actual movie goes, this is pretty bad. It does have some worth to a certain audience, I guess. I just didn't care for it whatsoever, and I'm not going to retain anything that happened in this movie. But hey, that's just what I thought. Feel free to say what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.